Hi and welcome to this new episode of sweetkittycrafts. My name is Yolanda and thank you so very much for spending some time with me. If you're a new subscriber, so thank you very much for joining me, and if you are a long time follower, thank you if you took the time to leave me a message or write me a comment. I know I usually don't write comments, not because I don't want to, but I'm just watching my YouTube videos on the TV screen and there is no way to leave a comment. So if you're the one who leaves comments for me, thank you so much for taking the time and effort to do so. Well, some pleasant news, because I've got 100+ followers and I'm very happy about that. So I was thinking a little bit about should I do a giveaway or not, because I'm not fond of giveaways, because yeah, it takes time for people to respond. Some people never respond, and well, I think you all deserved it. So I chose one of my hand-dyed yarn. It's one of a kind, so it won't be in my shop, or the yarn base won't be coming in my shop, because I tried out all kinds of bases and I took the ones I liked most and they sell most. So this is a merino tweed and it is 400 meters, 400 grams. And this is the yarn that I'm going to give away for the lucky winner. So there will only be one lucky winner, and for the rest of you I will add a coupon code to my Ravelry store, my Etsy store, and that will be, the code will be LOVE100, and that will give everyone who buys something in my shop a 50% discount. So if you ever were thinking about buying something, maybe now is the time. So thank you very much for everyone who is here with me and made the journey to where I am now. So I've got finished objects, and if I did everything correctly, you already saw the amazing big blanket, which was the Hoarder Locatelli mystery wrap knit along, something like that. And I'm not going to show it here on screen because it is massive and it's laying on my bed and the kitty cats have used it a lot and it already is covered with fluff. I don't mind, because it's about enjoying the thing, and it turned out lovely. I used up a lot of my stash yarn, and that is really one of the goals why I started the whole thing. And yeah, it's nice. I love it. It fits nicely in my room, and it covers the back side of the bed, so where your feet are laying, and that will be nice and warm in winter time. Okay, well, the next finished objects are the socks I showed you last time, and this is yarn that is new in my shop, and it is called Confetti, and I finished them both. So these are I knit those top down with a German short row heel, and I will explain a little bit about the knitting process in the finished of the works in progress section. So these are not washed yet, so the stitches will relax and they will become better looking after washing and blocking. They are pretty much alike. What happens with speckling is the underside of the yarn is most of the time less speckled than the top, but it wasn't too bad. I think this one is a little bit more colorful than that one, but the difference is not very disturbing to me, at least. Okay, the next thing I showed a little video in front of this real podcast about close-ups of the things I made. I think that might be a nice addition to the things you see here. So I finished the drops cardigan, and I think I'm gonna zoom in a little bit, so hope this works. Yeah, well, that doesn't show it any better, does it? So leave it like this. This is made of my hand spun. It is 100% merino, and I made it as a 2-ply. I started at the bottom, and I showed you last time I was at the armholes, the height of the armholes, and I had finished one arm sleeve until this one. Then I needed to do one repeat of the lace, and then I could add it to the rest of the body, and then the yoke was knitted just in one go all around. The only thing I had to do now is to find some lovely buttons. I had bought some buttons there, but they were too small, and I hate it when the buttons get loose when you're wearing the thing. So I really love how it turns out. I fitted it, and it fits me nicely. It was a bit tight over here, but when I blocked it, I'll put it on the stress model, and it blocked out very nicely. So I think it's gonna look very nice when it's done. Sorry about that. So that was finished objects. I think that was quite a lot of knitting, because I did not spin the last 2 weeks. I really did not spin, because my spinning wheel is still in the closet, kind of locked up. But Tour de Vlies is coming, and this is the first time I'm going to participate in Tour de Vlies. And I signed up with Woolen Spinning with Rachel Smith. She's got a Tour de Vlies group, and I signed up for the Dutch Wool Diva. She is a lady who is she got a yarn store close by, so she's local to me. I had some of her braids of yarn, which I want to spin up first, and I put it in this nice basket. So this is already pre-drafted. This is one of these braids, and I already spun up one of those, and I want to spin this one too. So then I've got 4 braids, which is about 400 grams, and I want to combine them, like change the skeins every row, and see how swatch will knit up and how it's gonna look. So this is what I'm starting with for Tour de Vlies, and I will add stuff as I go. My goal is, come on Molly, come on, is to spin 1 hour a day, and I think that is doable. So I'm gonna go for that. Yeah, there she is. Come say hi. Here she is. Hi. So I'm anxious to try it out. The sock mat was a total failure for me, because there was so much stress and I really lost my knitting mojo in that. And Tour de Vlies is just relaxing and show off what you made, and I think that will be a very nice thing to try. And now I'm covered all over with cat fluff, because they're shedding like mad, and it is warm, and then it is cold, and today it's going to be 30 degrees Celsius, and tomorrow it's going to be 20 degrees Celsius, so they don't know what to wear in the heat. So I'm going to grab real quick my next work in progress, and that is the Flaun cardigan I was knitting on last time, and I've been knitting on it a little bit. And Molly is going to go for my yarn, I know it. I'm going to run out of yarn, and I'm a bit disappointed. With the grey cardigan I just bought more, I spun more, and I've got about 200 grams left. So I didn't need to do that. Stop it, Mol. But this one I've got 400 grams, and I thought, well, maybe it is enough, but I should have known the fisherman's rib is really a yarn eater, but this is how it got so far. So where the little progress creeper is, that's where I was last time, so I knitted quite a bit. And I think I've got to knit 10 more rows, and then the idea is to pick up stitches over here and knit the inside pocket, and then join the pocket and the bottom of this yes, how is it called? The bottom edge of the cardigan, I'm gonna call it, and then knit about 2.5 centimeters of ribbing, and then of course do the sleeves. But what I've got left is this. and that's not going to get me anywhere. Well, it's going to get me somewhere, but not where I want to go. So what I was thinking of doing is knitting the inside pockets with this yarn, because I think that will match, kind of. And then do the ribbing in this. Then knit the sleeves as far as I can get with the ball of yarn I've still got. And do the rest of the sleeves with this. So, I hope that will look okay. And yeah, we'll see how it turns out. If it doesn't work, and I don't like the result, I might just add a little bit of ribbing over here. Knit the rest of the body with the yarn I've got. I'm just gonna leave it at that. That's just the way it is then. And I can't help that. So, the next thing I'm working on is a lot of socks. And I've got a few pairs on the go. The first thing I want to do is share a pattern with you, because it's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's a very lovely and easy to follow pattern. It's Louleigh's favorite socks. This is the pattern, and it is well, you can see there's a foot size XS, S, M, L, XL and XXL, the finished foot length and the circumference. And they're all in columns, and you just can read what you need to do. And this one, it says the cuff cast on a amount of stitches, and the number is in the column over here, so you can choose which size. And then it is a heel flap, heel turn, a gusset. And it has a very nice rounded toe, so I'm curious to try that. And what I'm doing at this moment, I'm starting my cuff on double pointed needles. And I knit 20 rows, so it's a nice long cuff. And then I change to my little circular needles, and I just knit and knit and knit and knit around, and just zooming along. And you can do this talking, watching television, just knitting and knitting and knitting, until, I'm going to explain in a little bit what yarn this is, until you get to the heel. And then I'll go back to my double pointed needles, and I put the heel stitches on 2 needles. No, the heel flap is on 1 needle. That is the easiest way. Just knit the heel flap, heel turn, and then put the front stitches on 1 needle and divide the heel stitches on 2, and you're going to decrease for the gusset until that's finished. And then we go back to our little circular needle. And that's what is happening with this sock. See? And then it's all the fun again. And you're going to start knitting around and around and around until you reach the toe. And the toe is going to be knitted on double pointed needles again. And that's what is keeping it interesting, because I got really 3 little tiny circular needles, which I showed you last time. And they're the Eddie's Sock Wonders, with the one point is longer and the other one is shorter. And that knits like a dream. It knits really nice. But my fingers get cramped up after a while, because they got to get used to the little fiddly thing. So that's why I changed to my double point needles once in a while. And because I only have 3 of these, you have to be, if you really get motivated to finish a sock, because you're going to need the little circular needle, and you're going to free it. The only way you're going to free it is get to a certain point where you have to use the double pointed needles again. and in this case it's going to be at the toe. So when I finish the toe on this sock, I think this one is the furthest, I can start a ribbing again. The hem of the, is it the hem? No, the hem is in the sleeve, right? The cuff of the sock. I'm going to start a new cuff and then just rotate again. So at the moment I've got 4 socks on the go, only 4. And I really enjoy knitting socks again. And I'm even making socks for my oldest son, who is wearing size 45. He's got the largest feet in the family. And I'm a 42. And my younger son is about 42 almost, size 42. And my husband's allergic for wool, so he doesn't need hand knit socks, at least not the woolen ones. So this is yarn I got from Knit Crate when I was subscribed to the sock yarn club, which wasn't always sock yarn. That was very disappointed. That's why I cancelled the subscription. But that one was, and it was the yarn from, it is called Chocolate Chip Mint, and it is from Knitology, and here it is. And what is the yarn? It is 80% springy superwash merino, 20% nylon, and it's 2-ply, and it's 400 yards, 400 grams. Yeah. And this is knitting up nice. I'm not particularly fond of pulling on socks. Oh, this is the heel and the heel turn, and there is the gusset. The gusset decreases, so I'm not sure how this particular sock pattern will fit my foot, but we'll find out soon enough. I'm usually used to the German short row heel. I don't have a high instep, so I don't need extra stitches, but we'll try. If it's gonna turn and screw on my foot, I'm just going for me back to the German short row heel, which I love, and it's easy to knit. But my sons both have a high instep, so they will benefit from the gusset with the heel flap. So the next yarn is one that is new in my shop, and it's called Sky Full of Butterflies, and it was a new dyeing technique I tried, and I really wanted to knit a pair of socks to show off and to use as an example for my shop, because people like to see what they're buying and how it knits up. So this is the Sky Full of Butterflies, and I love that. See? And here is the heel flap and the heel turn, and this is how it's caked up. And it's already in my shop. There are 4 skeins of this, and this is a lovely yarn. This is my preferable yarn. It is merino and nylon, and it's just a little bit thicker than the Wildcat base, which is superwash wool and nylon, and it's about 20 meters of difference in 100 grams. But it's just a tiny smidge thicker, and I like it. And it really is soft. I love soft. I'm not going to knit soft socks for my son, because he is so hard on his socks. He just had a giant hole in one of them. But if I use the commercial sock yarn, which is it inside for you? I don't think it is. No, it's on the top shelf. Let's see if I put it up a little bit, because it's up there. It's all commercial yarn, and they hold up very nicely. Even the worst abrasion they can withstand. So this is one of my older colorways, which are really, it's all tangled in my lap. I'm sorry, just have to untangle, because I'm gonna get some stitches lost off my needles, and I don't like that. So This is the Secret Path and it's sold out, but it is a nice yarn. It is speckled with an undertone of just grey, and then there's darker speckles. So this is the 20 rows of ribbing. I think I got 40 rows of legs. Then I start the heel flag, which are 15 slipped stitches, which means it is 30 rows. And then I'm gonna pick up 15 stitches on the side of the heel flap and I'm gonna decrease them as a gusset. And this is gonna be for Michael. So that's gonna be a bit bigger than usual. And the other sock is from a sock blank, because I did dye some sock blanks. They were sold out, all of them, pretty quickly. So there was a demand on sock blanks, because not a lot of indie dyers dye them. They are quite they're expensive if you buy them pre-knitted. I've got a knitting machine, which I finally made work for knitting sock blanks. So I knitted about 10 or 15 of them, and I thought, let's dye them in batches this time, not all one of a kind, because first of all, you all gotta separately photograph them and put them on eBay as a listing, and every listing costs you money to put on there. So I did 5 of them the same, and I already had one from a previously dyed sock blank dyeing session. And I thought, well, I'm gonna try something with it. I'm just gonna rip out, frog the whole sock blank and wind it on 2 separate balls, because they're all double stranded. And this is one ball. And this is also starting with one color and then progressing in another one. So if you knit up a sock blank in my shop, it's gonna go from one color to the other one. And this is how that's gonna look. And of course the yarn is all kinky, because that's how it is with sock blanks, but that is gonna wash out in when you block them and wash them, and all the kinkiness will be gone. So I did, in the intro you saw a little video of my sock blanks I dyed, and they are 5 of them. So they're going from a very dark blue, navy blue, to a lighter blue, and then to a purple, and then to a pink color. So if you're gonna knit these up, you're gonna have color progression socks very nicely. But because of the dyeing technique, it is looking like watercolor. It is blending and marbling. You can see this. So it's going to be interesting socks. I'm not going to knit one of these because it is the same dyeing technique as I just showed you on the socks. So these are already in my shop. So there are 5 of them, and if anybody's interested, you know the coupon code. A nice sock blank, double stranded, so you can knit 2 socks at the same time, or you can do as I did, wind them into a ball, or you can knit 1 sock and then the other strand wind into a ball, and well, when you get to the end, you gotta rewind it if you want to have 2 socks that look alike, or you're gonna have mirrored socks, which also could be nice. So that's about the finished objects. I bought the Rich's Helena loom, and I started, well, my husband and son built the thing together, which went really well, and I was very happy with it. And I was like a child on her birthday, and I was awake very early on a Saturday, and I thought, well, let's warp the loom, why not? Everybody's still asleep. Well, let's give you some advice. Don't go warp your loom if you don't have any coffee, if you're not right awake, because it's a disaster. I used acrylic yarn, which is very stretchy. I don't think that's the best yarn for a warp. But I thought I'm gonna make a table runner. I use my yarn, it's in my stash, and I used this yarn, and it is has color repeats, so I don't have to do any fancy stitches. It is, I think it's 100% acrylic. Yes, it is. So the warping is bad on this loom, but I'm gonna show it because I'm a beginner and everybody wants to learn and wants to have a good laugh because I messed up, right? So this is what it is. Let's try not to knock over the camera. So it is all squished up over here. Oh, you can't even see. Look at it. It's weird. Let's wait on that side. But I'm enjoying it, and there is more thing coming on there. Well, you're gonna see it when it's finished. But look at the top. It's terrible. Don't warp your loom like this. And there are cardboard strips everywhere to get the tension a bit better. Look at it. It's hard. Don't ever warp your loom like I did. But who cares? I love the thing though. It's very portable. And I talked last time about the shuttles I bought from Marktplaats. Oh, now you're gonna have a good laugh. There was a very nice picture of the weaving shuttles, and they said they were vintage, and I told you that they are vintage. And they were old, weaving shuttles, industrial weaving shuttles. And I had no clue. But this is one of them. This is one of the smaller ones. The bigger one I can't hardly lift. You can build a boat out of the thing. It's twice this size and it's so heavy, it's even heavier than my loom is. And this I can't use. I've got who knows how many of them, and they are very pretty. They are beautiful. Look at them. They are still intact. And this is all made of wood. It's real craftsmanship, and look at it. It's even the fur to keep the bobbin in place, and there's still yarn on there. And it is, oh, this is a real pretty thing. But I wonder about the women and men who were weaving with the giant shuttles. They must have muscles like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I can't even lift the thing. Not even say weave with it. So they are probably used on a floor loom. They must have, because this is not working on my rigid heddle loom. But it is lovely. And I got a lot of them and I put them on an Etsy. But if you're interested, maybe you own a museum. They look nice in a museum. And the other one is so big. There are two very big ones. Please give me a message and we can work something out. But don't buy these giant things if you want something for your rigid heddle loom. But I went on Etsy and I found some that were good for a rigid heddle loom. And I don't have them here, so sorry about that. But they're very lightweight. And they're not as pretty as these are, because these are really pretty. Look at that. Look at the wood. And people have worked with these and made probably rugs or blankets, or it would have been amazing. Look at the holes. I don't even know how this stuff works. I can't get it out. I can't figure out how to replace the bobbins. I got some spare bobbins because there's all kind of stuff living in there. But this one still works, and I think it's very pretty. There were a few that were just empty shafts. There were no bobbins or any levers to attach them to. But yeah, it still works. Look at that. So this is how it's supposed to work. And I think I'm just going to keep those for decoration with photographing yarn or stuff. It might have been nice. So if you're interested, please send me a message. Or if you know anybody who's interested, or look at my Etsy shop. They're on sale there. The problem is always the shipping. Shipping is a bitch, isn't she? Because it's so expensive, and the heavier the stuff gets, the more expensive it gets. And Etsy is really bad in calculating shipping cost. So if you're wondering and thinking about buying something from me, and you're not sure about the shipping, because there was a nice lady who bought 19 skeins of yarn, and Etsy thought it might cost $150. Well, it didn't. It cost $38, which is still a substantial amount of money, but 19 skeins. So if there is stuff there and you say, oh, I want to buy 2 skeins or 3 skeins, just send me a message. I can exactly calculate for you what is gonna cost. I vacuum seal my yarn, so it fits in the mailbox, and that is decreasing the shipping cost a lot. So just drop me a message, I'll calculate it for you, and you can buy it if you still want it. And I will refund shipping costs that were overpaid, always, even without asking. When we pay you the excess shipping. So the Tour de Vries I talked about, I've just got a little sticky note, and I just wondered if I covered everything. No, I did not. We had some stuff we gonna bring to the second-hand store, and while I was there with my son, we were just looking around, and I was looking for little tins because I wanted to clear off some of my drawers, and there were loose stuff in there, and I found a little lovely tin, and because there was a kitty cat on there, I just immediately thought, yeah, you're gonna be mine. And what's in here is just stuff I put in here for my sock knitting. There are little stitch markers, progress creepers, little scissors. I like to put these safety pin stitch markers every 10 rows for easy counting, and well, just the random stuff. And when I used this, I was looking at the tin and what it said, and it said it is made in England. Okay, well, that's interesting, but it is made in 1989, and that's quite old, isn't it? And it is made for a company, Hoops Friedrich Ferry, in Germany. So it is made in England and is shipped to Germany for a company, which I don't know what they made, but it has something to do with hoops, whatever that is. And it was in 1989. So I've got a very old tin, and it cost me 40 cents. A lot. It's just cute, and it's very handy. So this was the prettiest one. I bought some other things just to put in my little sachets of beads. They were lying everywhere in the drawers, so they're all stored together now. So that's nice. I just wanted to mention real quick, as at the end of the episode now, there are a few podcasts where I really like to watch. There are some big podcasts I watch less and less since they became real big, because when they are over 30 or 40 minutes, I think it's gonna take a lot of time, and there's a lot of talk about giveaways, knit-alongs, things they got, things they acquired, and I really like to see what they're knitting on, you know. So you might disagree with me, but the Fruity Knitting Podcast is a podcast with Andrew and Andrea, which are very informative, and I love to watch. And they are about an hour and a half, so they're quite long, but they're worth it. And there's also the Yarn Hoarder podcast. I always got a good laugh at her, and she laughs about her own silly things, and yeah, that's a long one too, but I like those. And then there is Esther from Estyknits. Hi Esther, I know you watch this podcast, so thank you for your comments. And she's also, I can laugh about her things, her mistakes, her craziness, because I'm just like that. Don't really think, gonna buy 10 vintage weaving shuttles, which the mailman must have thought, what the hell has she bought this time? Because they were heavy. Jeez. You must have had nightmares after that day. Great. Estyknits. She's Esther Rogers, so go and look her up. She makes a lot of stuff, and yeah, I hope you're doing well, Esther, and I'm enjoying seeing your podcasts. And then there is Wool and Spinning with Rachel Smith, and I love that because she is really focusing on the spinning part, and she is weaving with that kind of the things she spins. So yes, it's very informative, and I also like that one to watch. It's always quite short, under 30 minutes, and I really like that. I can squeeze it in. I even can watch that on my tablet without the battery running dead. So yeah, that's nice. I always look forward to seeing those. And then there is the PassioKnit spinner. She is Tracy, and she's from Germany, and she also makes fun of herself and about the things she did wrong. She is not scared to show her mistakes, and I like that because we can learn from those things, and yeah, that's what I like. So, about the giveaway, because I forgot to tell you what you gotta do. Leave a comment below this podcast, because you can do that. And you don't have to hop over to the Ravelry group. There is one if you're interested. There will be a link below, because I try to link everything in the YouTube bar, so you can click and you will go there. And if you want to friend me on Ravelry, that would be great, because I like to see what you're working on, what projects you've got, and if there is things in there I might like to make, or things I made and you made, so we can compare. So leave me a message, friend me on Ravelry. I'm jolandalovesyarn, as just one word. I also will put a link below on that. But please tell me what made you decide to watch this podcast, because I know a lot of viewers are here from the beginning, and they already told me some things they like, but I really like to know what draws you to watching me. So I really like to know. You can just say, I love your spinning, I love to see weaving, I love to see you laugh about the most idiot things. Maybe you just want to see my kitty cats. That might be a good excuse. Just tell me that, and I will draw the winner next podcast, which will be around 2 weeks, because my schedule is awful. But that's just me. I have to be in good mood to podcast. I just can't pull the rabbit out of my hat. I'm not like that. I've got to do a little mental preparing, and I've got to be in a good mood, or it won't work. So I'll be there in about 2 weeks, and I will draw a winner. If there are 100 people who will participate, I won't put your names all into a bowl. I just use the number generator, and I'll write it down who's the winner. Maybe there are some amazing comments that I will read some down for you and tell you. Maybe you made me cry, maybe you made me laugh, or maybe nobody's comment because they think I'm boring and they don't want to say it to me. However, I'm rambling. I'm going to stop right now. My son is going to get his finals on his exam tonight, so that is going to be exciting for him, for all of us. I'm nervous. I think he made it. We just got a good news yesterday. He is accepted to the ICT course for next year. It's 2 years. He is on a special education because he is autistic, and there was a big doubt if their funds were still going to come from the ministry to continue this education, and it was a close call. But everybody had to cut down on funds, and the schooling is sadly enough one of them. But he got in, and I was so happy. He is 16, and he has to go to school for 2 more years until he's 18, and he has to have an education, or he has an education now, but is not really focused on one thing. So if he got his ICT exams, and then he can go and find a job, something with programming, which is amazing for these special children. And I'm very proud of him, and I'm very happy he can go there next year and do his thing he likes. So thank you very much, really, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you next time. I hope you will leave me messages, spam my YouTube channel with good vibes, and we'll talk soon. And thank you very much again. Bye bye, until next time. Love you all.